Please be at least 5'9". Must be at least 5'10". Must be 6 foot plus to date me. Online dating double standards. You know, if I said she can't weigh more than 115 pounds to date me, she'd call me an asshole. Hey, Beach Girl 78. If you have a minimum height requirement, try dating the man who has a maximum weight limit. You know what? This isn't about her. This is my upset. It's not the double standard that's upsetting. What's upsetting is that it's triggering a painful old belief that I am not enough. That's been in my head since I was like 7. Maybe you know what I mean. I think it's harder for women to shake that because the world doesn't really support women in knowing that they're more than enough. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems that products and services that target me as a man tell me that I'm awesome and that I deserve it. And the ones that target you as a woman tell you that you need it and you're not enough without it. So why do I, as a man, still have that not enough trigger? Well, maybe we're similar. Maybe you've taken classes or done programs or even gone to more extreme measures to be enough. I have. I'm 5'6", and I spent 3 years as a teenager giving myself daily experimental injections to fix an endocrine system problem that was preventing my body from growing. I was 4'11" when that started. Always the shortest boy in class. Didn't hit puberty till I was 15. I was ridiculed and bullied. One day during my freshman year, while changing for gym, a group of guys gathered around to laugh about how underdeveloped I was. I believed because of my physical being, among other things, that I was not enough, and later in life, less of a man. It's important that I'm aware of my beliefs because I studied neuroscience, and what I learned was that my belief system generates my thoughts. Thoughts are experienced as feelings. Feelings drive actions. Actions produce results. And the results are unconsciously designed to validate the belief system. It's a feedback loop. So imagine how I showed up in the world believing I wasn't enough. I felt sad. I was furious. Feelings drive actions. So I'd argue with anyone just to win so I could feel like I was more. If I was wrong, I would verbally bully people into submission. Imagine how that strategy worked later with girlfriends. Just 3 years ago, I did it again to my girlfriend at the time, Tara. She was devastated. And I have never felt worse than I did when I saw Tara cry. Yeah, I won those fights and lost my love because I believed I wasn't enough. Before Tara, it was rare I could actually engage in a relationship because believing I wasn't enough drove me to continue to search for more. I jumped from woman to woman and even job to job because how you do anything is how you do everything. That was my life. Believing I was deficient drove me to show up deficiently, which validated the belief that I was deficient. It's neuroscience. If I didn't learn to disrupt my own unconscious psychology and say enough of this not enough story, I was going to be stuck in this painful reality feedback loop forever. Tara showed me that it hurts everyone else too. And I finally started to apply this understanding. I wish I learned this enough, not enough lesson when I was 23. Ashley approached the guys and me in the bar. She was not cute. Smart, beautifully dressed, carried herself well. She was confident without being arrogant, humble without being self-deprecating, and she believed she was awesome. At one point she quipped, "I know I'm brilliant and sexy, you want me, you know it." I thought she did a Jedi mind trick on me because in that moment, she was the hottest thing in the room, and I wanted her bad. And then she shot me down. But after Ashley, I became increasingly frustrated with women's inability to see themselves the way I saw them, the way Ashley saw herself. Beautiful, powerful, brilliant, sexy. Ashley knew that these were not qualities or aptitudes, but energies and attitudes, and their beliefs, which are otherwise called choices. My beliefs are choices that I haven't yet taken responsibility for. As soon as I do, I believe whatever I want. And in service to getting what I want, it's my obligation to make the choices that align with it, just like Ashley did. She wanted our attention and made the choices that got it. The universe was showing me that I am enough just as I am if I choose it. And every time I wanted to tell some woman, enough, not enough, it was me who needed to hear it. I guess body image issues aren't exclusive to women. It's been said that I'm wired like one. And that's cool. I love women. Maybe too much sometimes. Historically, I haven't liked men all that much. I even once heard that if you want to create a psychopath, remove all of the feminine energy from a man. Think about that. The power of the feminine is the power of creation and transformation. Without that, we're stuck, trapped, like a feedback loop. And if you want to see someone go psycho, trap them. I've seen the feminine power of transformation personally and professionally. 2 years ago, I was tasked with rebuilding a business team in a boys' club type industry. At the time, they were down from 25 people to 14, and the business was failing. I did not share with them how I was going to do it. They were 85% male, and I started reaching out to candidates, females. Reaching out to female talent, I was quietly disrupting a misogynistic boys' club. You can imagine the jokes that were being said behind my back. But by the time the team was 30% female, everything started to change. Everyone was fully engaged. Today, that team is at an all-time high of 33 people and 52% female. And they're crushing it. Now, I'm not saying that women are better than men. What I'm saying is that when awesome women are present, I'm fully present and engaged. And I figured that must be true for other men as well. After all, have you ever heard of a bar promoting men's night? Eventually, I did share with them my Machiavellian plan, and they asked me how I knew that gender balancing the team would help. Now, instead of quoting diversity data, I told them 3 things. First, women are powerful. How powerful? Well, as comedian Joe Rogan says, you make all the people. My contribution to you making people is giving you half the ingredients. If making people were like making lunch, I'd be putting half the groceries on the counter and then spend 9 months asking you how it's going. Second, I shared with them how women like Ashley and Tara and others helped me to get fully engaged and change how I think about me. Even with a long and not so distinguished history of douchebaggery, the more I evolved, the less shame I felt, and the more I engaged, and one day I realized I was surrounded by incredible women, unapologetically authentic, who embraced the totality of their being. And they set me on fire. Every part of my being was awake and engaged, from the divine masculine to the primal man. You know. And while the underlying douchebaggery was still in my deeper psychology, I knew that if I didn't continue to rise up and meet them at that level, they'd be gone. Third, in the book Iron John, author Robert Bly writes about how we are a society of men raised primarily by women. as men with absentee or overbearing or abusive fathers or some combination thereof, we're accustomed to taking our cues from women. You ever have a man pick you up for a date with no plan? Terrified to make a mistake, I said whatever you want, dear, a lot. And in this way, disempowered myself trying to please every woman that I knew. And no powerful woman will be pleased with a powerless man. So it seems that without women in my life who have said enough, not enough, who recognize that their faults aren't faults, but traits and gifts, I'd either be a powerless man or a douchebag. I have yet to meet the man that likes the idea of being either. Now, many of you have done the work. You've said enough, not enough, and thank you. You have provided me an opportunity to rise up and hold safe, sacred space for you without judgment or agenda in your service and protection, not because you're weak, but because you're important, so that you can continue to be fully expressed, explored, and relieved. And the men that won't elevate, the kind that sends unsolicited dick pics, they'll phase out. Without women in my life who say enough, not enough, I don't even have to try to level up. And that hurts everyone. But they did. So I did. And I will tell you now that I know I am more than enough. I'm awesome. And when born of gratitude, those choices aren't narcissistic or self-aggrandizing because it serves you and everyone else as well as me. That's generous. That's nurturing. That's transformative. That's actually quite feminine. So here I am today. I have created a life and a business that I love. I've disrupted individuals, teams, companies, and most successfully, myself. I said enough, not enough, like they were magic words, like abracadabra, which, derived from Aramaic, means it will be created in my words. And how powerful are these words? Well, you can ask my fiancée. You might know her. Her name is Tara.